We're enduring some Arctic chill in this timeless DoD classic. This week, we're following along with Uncle T as he sets the table for Brother Mark on this mature 9-point buck. I'm Taylor Land, and you're watching a Throwback Thursday right here on DoD TV.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
I've never hunted in weather quite so brutal as this. The wind's blowing about 20 to 30, gusting up to 30 miles an hour. The temperature is 2 degrees above zero. The wind chill factor is 35 to 40 below. It's snowing, blowing, and we're gonna go climbing a blind and try and kill a deer yet this evening. Man's gotta be crazy, wanna do this?
Wind is blowing so hard, you just literally cannot stand it out there. So we're in a box blind, the only box blind we really had to go to, and the wind's actually right for it, believe it or not. And there's some deer in the field. There's some beans and a little bit of milo down at the other end, and there was deer in the field, but we ran part of them out. There's still a lot of turkeys, but the conditions are so bad, the deer were right back in the field as soon as we climbed up the blind. So hopefully we'll have some luck.
If there is one constant or given fact, it is when weather conditions are so severe that deer must have food to survive. The food conversely turns into energy. This stored energy must be replenished often in order for them to maintain and function properly. If these types of conditions persist and the food source is depleted, many will not make it through the harsh conditions. We as individuals have difficulty lasting only 3 to 4 hours out in the element, even with highly advanced fabrics to endure the coldest of conditions.
Tremendous deer. Absolutely phenomenal. Really big buck in the field. I told you these conditions are brutal, and I tell you these deer are on this food. It's unbelievable.
For all intensive purposes, my effective range for the particular slug gun that I'm shooting is between 150 and 160 yards.
More deer coming in the field. Coming this way. Running.
I would sure like to see these monsters feed my way 50 or 60 yards. It could make all the difference in the world.
Come on, baby, just come this way. No, see. That's right. That's it. Right here. Where'd he go? He's in the middle of the field. Left. Dog line. I don't know what that was all about. The turkeys flew, and deer started exiting the field. The only thing I can think of was a coyote or something they saw. They didn't like it. But what a magnificent 8-point, tremendous deer. Whew. Gets my blood boiling even though I'm cold.
Boy, absolutely brutal conditions. Those are the worst conditions that I've ever hunted in. You know, the wind chill factor was 40 to 45 below zero. We literally wore the hinges off of that door because it was the only box blind on the farm, and I wasn't about to sit in a tree stand with those kinds of conditions. I had every piece of clothing on and had the little heater there in the blind. Well, I hunted it several evenings after that because once I saw him, he's a 160-inch 9-point. I thought that he would come back out into that bean field. It was late season, and there was, it was really one of the only food sources around, so I felt real confident that I'd see him again, but he just didn't come back out and give me an opportunity. Well, Mark was no dummy. He knew that that deer eventually would show up into that feed field, so boy, he scurried up as soon as I had to head back home. He was there, waiting.
There's an interesting point. You notice all of those horses are on their feet and feeding, and my grandpa Ritter used to always tell me, watch your livestock, that'll tell you what your deer are doing. And they should be, really, because there's a major cold front that came through. The temperature started out in the 20s this morning. We're now down in single digits. We've got a 30 to 40 mile an hour northwest wind, which puts those wind chills down at 30 or 40 below frigid temperatures. So hopefully our horses will show us what the deer are doing, and we'll see some deer come into the food plots. It's identical to the conditions Terry had last week when we saw that big 9-point. Boy, these conditions are brutal. 30 below wind chill. There's already a flock of turkeys out. One big doe back here.
If all things remain true to farm, this entire field will fill up with deer. The only question is, will the big, tall 9-point show up again? Mark's hopes were certainly high. The conditions are extreme. The food supply is abundant. He must simply bear the elements and wait. Boy, oh boy, the big ones always seem to show up right at last light. Mark's got to be anticipating a shot at this bruiser. Food is the magnet that will lure them in given enough time and patience. Persevering extreme temperatures test your mental and physical condition. Now, waiting for just the right shot becomes imperative.
I got him. I saw him kick. Oh, I saw the telltale kick. I think I just got him. He went down that hole. Man, what a nice deer. I didn't think we'd ever see that deer again. He came out early. There was a bunch of deer out here, and this wind is so strong. Those deer, they get really nervous in this wind, and they ran back and it stopped him at the fence, and he finally worked back in. And I said, oh no, we'll never see him again. And sure enough, last light, luckily he came back out and gave me a nice shot at about 155, 160 yards. He kicked real high right when I shot and ran down the hole. Oh, it makes it worth sitting out in these temperatures. It is so cold. He said it was 40 below wind chill. But I think we got him. I think it was worth it. Whew. Woo. There's a beautiful sunrise. What a gorgeous sight to cap off a fantastic hunt last night. It was 10 o'clock before we got him out. Extreme conditions. We decided to come in this morning with better light. Look at this deer. We've got him propped up. Fantastic, fantastic mature 9-point. Same 9-point that was out last week for Terry. Some does got nervous. Before he got in range, they took him out of the field. Terry's luck, wouldn't you know it? He's on a different hunt this week. I still had a tag, came up here, same conditions, 40 below wind chills. He started to come out, doe started to get nervous. I thought, oh no, here we go again. But that high power soybean food source, that's what we like in our food plots for late season hunting, brought him back out just at last light. Gave me about 155, 160 yard shot, and luckily I was able to take the animal. Just a gorgeous deer though. And when we went back last night and compared him, we've got the shed to this deer. Our nephew Jared Lurk found this shed in this same food plot while we were planting a green field. You can see that G1 curving inward, extremely high on the beam, just like this one. Look at the growth he's had in 1 year. This is about a 130, low 130s type 8-point. He's grown into a 9-point buck in the mid 50s, I'd say. That's some phenomenal growth for 1 year. Not a bad investment from 3 to 4 years old.
DeerCast is giving you the chance to hunt with Mark and Terry Drury. Head over to DeerCast.com to enter.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Mossy Oak.